Ross, I guess the story today out of Melbourne with Brett as a fellow coach, part of the brotherhood, I guess. What's your thoughts
part
on
of the
that?
association?
Yeah.
Yeah. Clearly, we're all doing our best and we're all trying to provide for our families, and we understand it's a really fierce business, and at the end of the day, you feel for Brett. But outside of that, I don't comment on other clubs' businesses. I'm really preparing for an important game, and really focused on Fremantle versus Melbourne.
Do you think you'll coach against Mick Malthouse next year?
Not something that concerns me. Have no interest in discussing it.
What's the word on Matthew Pavlich?
Yeah, we'll pick him. He trained on Tuesday. We'll manage him today. He's really confident and determined to play. So there's a little bit to play out yet, but we'll certainly name him. It'll be pretty similar to last week, I'd imagine.
Obviously, at his age, he has to be managed a bit anyway. But
yeah,
does that management have to go to a new level with the problems he's got between now and the end of the season?
Oh, certainly. He's improved. He had a number of things happen in the last game on top of his general soreness, and that Achilles he's managed for the last 5 years. So we have a strong plan in place in that, and then he had the adductor and the corked hamstring. So most of that's settled down. But certainly we're always trying to everyone talks about best practice. We think we've employed that with Matthews, but we're always talking about next practice. So we've had some of the experts in the country fly in and give us some advice, and so our management is always trying to improve with Matthew.
Just back quickly on the coaching front, Ross, do you expect to keep Peter Sumich next year? There's rumblings already that Mick would chase him. Are you expecting Peter to be with the footy club next year? Yeah,
I have no reason to think he wouldn't be here. So I'm certainly aware that. Who was it? Michael? So you're making an assumption. Michael Milas to coach Carlton. Is that what you're saying? Michael Milas is definitely coaching Carlton next year. Is that what you're asserting?
That's speculation.
Okay, so I don't deal in speculation. So next, yeah.
Brett Kurt, Ross coming to the club next year. How did that come about?
Yeah, so we obviously have a strong association with Brett. Really wanted to continue to build and bring great people into the club, and clearly he's got great footy character, great personal character, and we're thrilled that he'll take up an appointment as an assistant coach and complement our midfield.
Did you go to him, Ross? You approached him?
Oh, I can't remember how it happened.
He's obviously got an interest in coaching, and you knew that.
Yeah, I was certainly in conversations, a long way out to be frank, with Brett. We have a really strong relationship, and when he was finishing his football, we had lots of conversations about opportunities for Brett and obviously what the media looks like. He had that ambassador role. He did that, took his family over, and the international sort of study, or he got really involved in that, and then about his desire to coach and sort of what that looked like, an opportunity. So I was certainly fully aware, and he'd been doing leadership with Bluestone Edge, working at the Gold Coast as a consultant flying in, and in conversations he really strong in his head, something switch where he wants to coach. So from there was just conversations instigated, and I think it's a great opportunity for Brett to come into a really strong organisation that's building and determined to be successful, and I know he can really help us grow, and he's been to places and experienced things that a lot of people at this club haven't, and he can, like Peter Sumich, myself, Mark Stone, and all of our people, help grow our player group to be what they want to be.
You mentioned after the game that you spoke to the players before the North game. Tell me if I'm wrong here, but before the North game, about the process of not looking at the fact you're playing finals, etc., the scenario which had unfolded after the Gold Coast game. Yeah. So this week, given all the various scenarios that could open up, including a home final, did you try to divorce the players from all that on the Saturday afternoon, or do you try and embrace it and try and set a target? How do you approach it? Yeah, well, certainly, I'd put that we live in a world of information, so you don't want to live in a bubble, do you? So
We certainly spoke about a result had been favourable to give us a double opportunity to secure ourselves. So we acknowledge that, and we'll always deal with what's put in front of us, and then from there nothing changed. So again, we understand, and look, and there's lots of permutations and potential outcomes. So certainly don't waste any time with that, except to say they're all there. But what has got us this to position has been a coaching group, in particular a play group and a leadership group, that has worked really hard to improve their football. And it takes a long time to get yourself in the form we're in and the fitness. So stay in the moment, and no matter what you're feeling, just continue to do what we've done. Because Melbourne Football Club, there's a really great lesson, isn't it? You know, they beat Essendon early in the year. They've won a few games, and they have improved, and they'll come over with no burden of expectation and really have a free swing at it. So we understand if you take the eye and you look, all results are potential results are a distraction. So just control what we can. I've been involved in a few dead rubbers before with a team guaranteed at spots. So so my experience tells me, and I think my persona as a coach would tell you, that we'll stay squarely on giving it our best effort.
So just clarify, if North wins, if Sydney wins, you'll know what you have to win by to get sixth position. That you won't worry about discussing that with the players?
No.
Well, you know,
And to be frank, you know more about it than me. I haven't wasted any time. I'm preparing for the Melbourne Football Club.
well, you know though exactly how many points you have to win by to get sixth spot if it pans out that way, depending on the results, because all those games are played before you.
Yeah, well, I think you underestimate what I do. I don't do much game day, but I do help prepare the team and conduct a couple of meetings, and so I won't bring the calculator and start. And actually, I failed quantitative studies at uni, so yeah, it's not a concern for me.
Would you want to know? If someone told you, like, would you want to know?
Well, I think you're making assumptions. We're going to control the game day. I can tell you this one. There are no easy games of AFL footy, so let me just, we'll just clarify any future questions. I have no interest. We'll focus purely on every minute of the game trying to be the best that we can be.
Is it disrespectful that people are assuming Melbourne will just roll over?
It is by you guys, because you're making an assumption we've won the game. I haven't seen. Are we definitely winning the game on the weekend? Is can you hand the 4 points to me?
I reckon you've fair chance.
Okay, so again, that's just opinion. I don't deal in speculation and opinion. So, and then the other thing, you're talking about trying to control who you play in the finals. And I read the Mark Stevens article today about West Coast a no-brainer, and gee whiz, his level of respect, for West Coast is certainly different to the level of respect I have and our player group have. So we just want to play finals. We don't care where it is, against who it is, and all I know is if you muck around with your form and you take your eye off the ball, you blink and you've lost to a bottom of the ladder team.
That all being said, is this a really good chance, dress rehearsal, whoever you played it, to get everything in place defensively?
Now we're talking seriously, aren't we? So, yeah, we go down to practice excellence, and it's really difficult, this competition, to stay at your best for long periods of time. So we're not going to be mucking around at all. It's full steam ahead. We're going to pick our best possible team, and from the first bounce, we're going to compete. And my expectation as senior coach is we compete in exactly the same as we did against the North Melbourne Football Club. So I can't be any clearer on that. And I've said that to the players, so I hope that just clears it up. I think, look, you've got a job to do. I understand all the scenarios, but I can't get involved in that. I have no interest in that. I've been in this before, and it's just a distraction. It's fraught with danger, and history tells you take your eye off the job at hand and you got a disaster. And I'd certainly like to see the headlines if we were to lose on the weekend, what they'd be. So I'd prefer not to see those headlines, but I've got a fair idea what they would look like. So we're pretty determined to continue to write our own story. And our own story is prepare really well, improve our football and respect all opposition, and don't worry about future results. That's the story we're writing.
You mentioned the club flew in experts to assess Havlich. What sort of experts were they, and what was
Tendon experts.
Tendon, okay.
Yep.
What was their opinion?
on one.
On him playing, is there a potential?
No, it happened like 4 or 5 weeks out, so it's been ongoing management. But they just give you, they're the experts. They can just help step up what exercises he's done to strengthen, and you know. So
Where were they from, Ross? International or around Australia?
doesn't matter.
Oh, it's interesting.
Yeah, I think they were from Australia. Yeah.
Jonathan,
Well, in fact, I know they were.
Jonathan Griffin, where's he at? In terms
Yeah, he's training today.
of be picked tonight, or he'll be in the
Well, the team goes in. That's why we have match committees and selection times. It was train. We've got a bit to work through yet, you know. So,
How's Captain Bradley come up?
yeah, he passed his cog state, so he'll train today, which is good for Kepler and us.
Given the health of the list, if it's from last week, I mean, you wouldn't want to be, well, I'll ask you the question, is many changes likely, Ross, given trying to do continuity before the final?
No, that's a good point. We're trying to keep continuity, but we spoke about a while ago in the year, trying to bring integrity to the effort we wanted. There was times where the balance of the team was probably compromised, but because you know we've got a level of effort being put in, we've had to be more ruthless in our decision making to pick the team that's best suited to the upcoming opposition, and that will continue. And there's been a few boys really unlucky that missed out, but based on having a harder edge at selection, you know, there'll be some disappointments obviously this week and the following week.
And just on the Demons, obviously not the season that they would have wanted, but where do you assess that their most dangerous aspects are?
Well, they're really quite capable. You know, they're a really highly skilled team. They kick it really well. They've trained on. We know they're spreading the ball more. There's more uncontested football coming in. They've improved their scoring by 3 goals on average a week over the last 5 weeks. So, you know, do they bring Jamar back in to sort of compete against Aaron, or they have a double ruck? So Sylvia's in really good form. Lyndon Dunn's gone back and really bouncing out the back, and you know Nathan Jones has had a super year, and they got some, you know, Grimes and Trengroves are really quite talented players. So we really respect them, and I think you can understand they kicked 40 points in the first quarter against us last time. So our perspective of Melbourne and our respect is a bit different probably from the wider football communities and fans. So, but that's to be expected because we don't expect, you know, everyone to drill in like we do.